Strait of Hormuz, narrowest point, 2:52 p.m., broad daylight, perfect visibility. USS Mason, an Arleigh Burke class guided missile destroyer, is escorting an American oil tanker, Pacific Endeavour, through waters Iran has threatened to control for decades. A standard freedom of navigation transit. Then Iranian radar locks on. 6 coastal anti-ship missile batteries come online. From Bandar Abbas, 12 fast attack boats launch. 3 missile corvettes move to intercept. The message is clear. The tanker doesn't pass and the destroyer doesn't survive. Iran believes it has the perfect kill box. 1 American ship in the world's tightest choke point. Missile batteries on the coast, boats closing fast, corvettes ahead, nowhere to run. The plan: overwhelm Mason, sink her in Iranian waters, seize the tanker, capture survivors, and humiliate America. But Iran makes 4 catastrophic miscalculations. First, USS Mason isn't alone. 3 American submarines are already shadowing below. Second, the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower carrier strike group is only 60 miles away, with Super Hornets ready to launch. Third, every Iranian battery that activates is already on a target list for B-1B bombers orbiting at 40,000 feet. Fourth, the tanker Iran wants to seize is carrying a hidden payload, 12 Marine Force recon operators below deck, embedded for one reason. If Iran tries to board, it won't end with hostages. Iran thinks it's attacking 1 destroyer. Instead, it triggers the largest U.S. naval response in the Persian Gulf since 1988. What happens in the next 47 minutes becomes the most devastating American counterstrike against Iranian forces in modern history. This is that story. The Strait of Hormuz is the world's most strategic choke point. At its narrowest, it's only about 21 miles across, tight enough that shipping lanes feel like a funnel, not an ocean. About 20% of global oil flows through it. Every day, massive tankers move in long, predictable lines because there's no other way through. Iran has spent decades claiming it can choke that flow whenever it wants, strangling the global economy with a single decision. Most of the time, it's been theater. This time, it looks like a plan. 3 weeks ago, Iran raised the stakes, deploying 6 advanced coastal anti-ship batteries, Chinese CC-802 missiles with about 120 kilometers of reach. Patrols increased, fast attack craft swarmed, missile corvettes pushed into intercept lanes. The coastline became a launch platform. The U.S. response was simple: keep the strait open, continue escorts, ignore intimidation. Make the point again that international waters remain international. 10 a.m. USS Mason receives orders. Escort Pacific Endeavour through Hormuz. Ensure safe passage. Defend against any Iranian aggression. Captain Sarah Mitchell knows daylight transit means everything is visible. And intelligence chatter suggests Iran is planning something. She doesn't need a map to understand the geometry. In Hormuz, distance collapses. Threats appear quickly, stack quickly, and strike quickly. 11:30 a.m. Mason enters the strait. Pacific Endeavour follows 1 kilometer behind, huge, slow, exposed. A floating target that can't dodge, can't sprint, and can't fight its way out. On Mason, sailors tighten chin straps, check screens, recheck screens, and wait. The ship's posture changes. Quiet becomes focus. The kind of focus that only comes when everyone knows the next call might be real. By early afternoon, Iranian radar is actively painting Mason. Fast attack boats surge out of Bandar Abbas. 3 missile corvettes depart port and move to intercept. 2:35 p.m. Flash traffic from U.S. Central Command hits the bridge. Mason, be advised. Intelligence indicates imminent Iranian attack. 6 batteries active, 12 boats inbound, 3 corvettes moving to intercept. You are authorized defensive engagement. Carrier strike group scrambling now. Hold position. Defend the tanker. Mitchell's voice goes out over the ship. General quarters, this is not a drill. Iranian forces inbound. We are authorized to engage. Mason is one of the most advanced destroyers afloat. Aegis, SM-2 interceptors, Tomahawks, a 127mm deck gun, and CIWS as the last line. Electronic warfare teams stand ready. Decoy launchers are loaded. Damage control lockers are open. Medical teams stage stretchers. Because everyone on that ship understands the same truth. You don't get to choose whether you're targeted. You only choose how fast you respond. But even Aegis can be overwhelmed if enough missiles arrive at once. 2:52 p.m. The coast erupts. 8 C-802 anti-ship missiles launch from the batteries, sea-skimming toward Mason. Simultaneously, the 12 attack boats fire 24 smaller missiles. The 3 corvettes add 6 more heavy missiles. 38 missiles inbound, all on one American destroyer. Engage, Mitchell orders. All defensive systems, countermeasures, return fire authorized. Aegis snaps to life. Tracking, assigning, calculating. SM-2s leap upward. One inbound detonates. Then another, and another. Chaff blooms into the air like silver smoke. Decoys spit into the sea, trying to drag seekers away from steel and toward empty water. But the raid is dense. Missiles keep coming. The sky doesn't feel big anymore. CIWS spins up. Tracers stitch the air. Warheads burst at close range. Shrapnel slams the sea. The sound becomes a constant grind. Guns, alarms, impact reports, shouted confirmations over internal circuits. 2:54 p.m. One missile breaks through. It slams into Mason's forward section above the waterline. Violent blast. Fire, smoke. Seconds later, a second hit aft. More damage. More casualties. Mason is burning, wounded but still afloat. Damage control teams move immediately. Hoses, foam, cutters, breathing gear. They fight heat and smoke in narrow passageways, sealing compartments, keeping flooding from spreading. On the bridge, Mitchell doesn't flinch. She can't, because in a kill box, hesitation is the only guaranteed loss. Damage report, she snaps, then turns to the weapons officer. Return fire. Coastal batteries. Tomahawks. Now. 8 Tomahawks roar from Mason's cells, pre-planned on the missile sites. Mitchell radios CENTCOM. Mason is hit. 2 missiles struck, engaged with multiple Iranian vessels and land-based missiles. We need support now. The reply is immediate. Air support inbound. 60 seconds. Hold on. 2:59 p.m. 8 FA-18. Super Hornets scream over the strait. From above, the fight is unmistakable. Mason's smoke plume, fast boats swarming, corvettes pressing in. Weapons free, the lead pilot calls. Priority targets, corvettes and boats. 16 AGM-84. Harpoons drop, ignite and race toward the 3 corvettes. The Iranian ships try to turn away. Too late. Boom, boom, boom. All 3 corvettes are hit nearly together. Fireballs, hulls tearing, ships breaking and sinking within minutes. Then the Hornets roll in on the fast attack boats. Cannon fire and precision strikes shred the swarm. Boats erupt, burn, flip and disappear. 12 becomes 0. The ocean surface turns into a map of smoke stains and scattered wreckage. 3:02 p.m. Mason's Tomahawks reach the coast. 6 missile batteries vanish in synchronized explosions, radars and launchers obliterated, and the follow-on strikes hit immediately. 2 B-1B Lancers, already orbiting, drop GPS-guided JDAMs on Revolutionary Guard naval facilities, depots, barracks, radar sites, and communications nodes. Multiple locations erupt in chained detonations. In minutes, Iran's operational infrastructure in the strait is crippled. The coastal network that made the ambush possible starts collapsing piece by piece. 3:08 p.m. The first miscalculation comes due. 3 American submarines already shadowing below-launch Tomahawks at Iranian naval headquarters in Bandar Abbas, erasing the command node behind the ambush. 3:15 p.m. Growlers arrive. Iranian radar goes blind. Anything still able to coordinate or strike is hunted down and finished. By 3:45 p.m., it's over. 47 minutes. In broad daylight. USS Mason is damaged, but alive. Pacific Endeavour completes passage. Iran's attack collapses into wrecks, craters and smoke. Captured in daylight satellite imagery no propaganda can rewrite. Operation Iron Passage leaves one message. You don't close the Strait of Hormuz by attacking an American destroyer. You get your force destroyed, while the whole world watches.